If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
Benchwarmers, we don't have to cry on this episode. We got great news to talk about. We brought in a special guest. We are live for the first time here in a couple weeks. I think it's been a few weeks here since we've been live on this show. Far End of the Bench bonus episode coming at you. We have to break down before the series starts. Our normal episode's still going to come out on Thursday. We'll talk about how the games look so far in the Western Conference Finals, but we get to talk about the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, something that we were trying not to say outright because, you know, if you've listened to the show for a long time,
way too much.
Yeah, we mush everything that we talk about. We did a series on this show where we did our top 10 in college football throughout the season. Every team that we put in our top 5 loses the next week. Like I put Iowa, I think number 1, and they got upset 2 weeks in a row.
It was. We put bad juju on ourselves, and for some reason last year it may have got the monkey off our back. Like last hockey season may have got the monkey off our back because right now we are buzzing, Jimmy. We are buzzing.
We are buzzing. Before we get into everything, this is our bonus episode. We are presented by the Variety Sports Network. Far End of the Bench. Follow us at FEOTB Pod. Yeah, we are Far End of the Bench. I've done this for 3 years. I think I kind of have an idea as to what we're doing. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have a take on the Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Nuggets, drop it down below when we have Terrell from Realism Sports Talk on to break down that series a little bit more in depth, which he'll be coming up here in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. You will be sure to bring those up. So drop down in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed if you're watching on YouTube live, and if you're catching the replay or if you're listening back, be sure to follow the show wherever you listen, all that good stuff. It helps us out. We're starting to build our base. We've got a nice foundation built. Now it's up to the people that are the base of our pillar. Let's bring in more. Bottom of the totem pole's strongest part. And
this is arguably the first time we've ever brought an actual real rival. Yeah, we had the Thunder guys. We're the Thunder for Tampa Bay and Stanley Cup final. But I hate the Lakers with every ounce of me. Literally every ounce of me. We haven't had a Steelers fans on. We haven't had a Raiders fan on. Actually, we have technically because Darren's a Raiders fan. But down to the net and grit of it, I hate the Lakers with every burning passion. But I like our guests, so you know what? I'll get past that for that reason.
That's the worst part. Like, it's the best part and the worst part about doing these online stuff and finding all these other independent content creators and podcasts. Like, you want to hate them because you know that they like the other team, but they're just good. Like, it's good people, and they also they do the same thing we do. They get together in their basement, like I'm set up in their apartments. They have a computer, a little web camera, and they're good to go. They talk about sports. Everybody's got their own opinion. Some of us may follow the wrong team. That could be a circumstance of where you grew up. We'll get it. I'm sure like people think the same way when they hear Niko talk about the Nuggets. Like, oh, well, if he wasn't born in Denver, it'd be different. Well, guess what? We are. We're native Coloradans. He watched basketball from the time that he was in his crib all the way through. His dad's been heavily involved in the game. So, yeah, we are Nuggets fans and we are homers for sure.
Since birth, and pause on that, but I've been sucking wind and sucking thin air for since I came out of the womb, all right? So, yeah, I bleed inside of the state.
We legit have different blood. I tried to explain that to, especially when I was up in Guttison. When you train with such little oxygen at such high altitudes, your blood cells are literally built different. So people try and be us, but they can't deal with the elevation. Plus,
that's why Olympians come here. That's why all these different high-level athletes all train here. What can I say? Colorado's still different.
I like it better instead of circling back to our home teams. Let's just circle back to our home state because we can talk about that for days. There's tons of good things about Colorado. Everything is great. But let's quickly wrap up kind of the Suns series. We'll start off. Monty Williams did get fired after this past season. So as good of a job as it looked like he was doing, the teams that he was putting together, the success that they've had, it's kind of sustained success throughout the postseason. Monty Williams does end up going along with the team. As soon as they lose, he gets fired and loses his job. We kind of saw the writing on the wall. We both said that we thought the Suns would be able to come back, and if they played well and got the contributions they were getting, could possibly push it to 7. But we also both said that we wanted to see the Nuggets make a statement. There wasn't much more of a statement that you can make winning by 20. I had friends that are diehard Suns fans from Arizona. I've told you this too, texting me with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter, congratulating me on the win and going on to the next series. Like, yeah, good luck in the next round. What? Did the
30
Nuggets win already? Did I miss it? It's like, no, it's only the second quarter. What are we doing here?
30 piecing. I mean, an absolutely embarrassment. I mean, look, we'll get to the Monty Williams stuff here in a minute, but I thought this team had a little more heart, but obviously they don't. Like they really just said they conceived. Like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. We'll talk about good old Philadelphia here on Thursday's show. So don't you worry. We'll talk about conceding there on that episode. But we'll talk about conceding in terms of the Suns, and they just basically gave up. You got your ass kicked. You were in the game, and who are you gonna blame, right? What is it going to be? Chris Paul, who obviously didn't play the last 3 games or 4 games? Is it going to be Monty Williams, which obviously seems like the case? Or is it going to be DeAndre Ayton, which in the most pivotal game of the season decided, I think I'm good. There's a lot of blame to be around, but at the same time, all the praise in the world needs to be coming to the Denver Nuggets because there was zero let up. From the opening whistle, you said, we're not fucking around. We're going to come at you, and you're not going to be able to stop us. And when you try to, and when you think that it's going to be a 2-man team versus 8 guys, you're going to have a long day. You're going to get embarrassed on national television for, people forget, the 2nd straight year in a row. Because when they lost in the Western Conference semifinals last year, they lost by 40 on home court to the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. And now this year, obviously losing by 30 on home court in a pivotal Game 6. Like I said, look, the Denver Nuggets deserve all the praise in the world in what we did because, man, between the adjustments that Michael Malone made defensively from Game 3 and 4 to Game 5 and 6, or the adjustments from who offensively is going to be the guy every night. Like, whether it be KCP some nights, whether it be Mike, whether it be Jamal, or obviously the MVP, the rightful MVP, it came from every different direction.
It did, and the bench too. Like, you got multiple guys from your bench putting out double-digit performances, and I got the box scores pulled up here. But Bruce Brown, I think we've been giving him his credit all series. 20 plus 26 in the final game, 13 points. But you said it multiple times throughout when we were talking about the Nuggets Suns matchup. What he brings to the floor defensively, what he was able to do stopping Kevin Durant, that's where you bring his inherent value to the floor. And I love the fact that this team, they've bought into Michael Malone so much. And I think if we're going to talk about the way Monty Williams gets fired and we're going to talk about coaching, Michael Malone has been on the chopping block locally here. Like, all the fans that don't really know what they're looking at, and they just want, George Karl is the greatest, and that the Nuggets will never get back to there. Right? I hope that they're waking up now, looking at the fact that we are in damn near the exact same situation with a coach that so far has been able to push the right buttons and push his team to another level when everybody thought, there's going to be this that happens. If normally what happens when the Suns come out and they show that they're going to concede, the Nuggets drop down to the level of their competition. There was none of that. Like I said, it was the message sent. We are able to do this. We can send you home whenever we want to. We can score. We can have production from up and down our lineup. If Jokic has to come off the floor because he's tired of playing 60 minutes a night, we can put other guys in, and it's not going to be a total detriment being able to spread around the belief and the fact that this team has bought into what Michael Malone and what the Denver Nuggets system is moving forward. We talked about it last year on our cup run. The Avalanche had a system where they're going to be able to play against whatever matchup style they wanted to. Now it's going to be a test. This is going to be, we said it, when you have to break these longstanding curses, these longstanding droughts, you're going to have to face the boogeyman at some point. You got to pull the monkey off your back. You have to have your Steve Young moment on the sidelines of the Super Bowl being like, finally, nobody can say this ever again. You're going to have to knock out the guy who's been the boogeyman of the league for, what is it now, 18 years? 20 years?
19, 20 years. And like I said, touching on Malone, look at the names he's beaten, right? Like Popovich beaten in the playoffs. Doc Rivers, playoffs. Obviously, I have my takes on Doc Rivers. Still a great coach. Still one of the most winningest coaches in NBA history. Quinn Snyder, one of the best young coaches in the NBA. Terry Stotts, fired. Monty Williams, fired. I mean, you could go down the list of names of guys that Malone has just outcoached. And when everyone was panicking after Game 3 and 4, including myself a little bit, being like, where are the adjustments going to be? Like, those 3 guys off the bench were not doing anything. You stick with those same 3 guys off the bench the rest of the series, and you stay the course being like, our guys can play better. You have trust in Jeff. You have trust in Bruce. You have trust in Christian Brown. Obviously, that may be a different 3 guys off the bench in this next series, but they were the perfect 3 for this series. You just needed them to play better, and plain simple, they did. Those games 5 and 6.
You can't say enough about how dominant it was for the Nuggets to finish the way that they did, similar to their opponent. And I know that we're going to get more in depth when Terrell joins us, and he's going to come up shortly. So if you tuned in for if you're a Realism Sports Talk fan, we're going to get to your guy here shortly, but you get to hear us drone on a little bit more and hear the Nugget side of things. But for the Lakers doing what they did to Golden State, we talked about it. Golden State didn't really make the adjustments that they needed to, and now they're going to look fairly different moving forward. But this Lakers team, if Anthony Davis is healthy, they pose the biggest threat left, right? You see them as the biggest threat, obviously, until they get to the finals. Yeah. But Boston, depending on what Boston team shows up, I think the Lakers have been a little bit more consistent, honestly, throughout the entire tournament.
Exactly. We'll worry about that when we get to that point. But like I said, look, this franchise, 7 times the Denver Nuggets have faced the Los Angeles Lakers in the playoffs, Jimmy. 0-7, including 3 Western Conference Finals that the Nuggets all lost. 2020, obviously most recently in the bubble, in 2009 with the Nuggets. Obviously, I wasn't born for the other one, but that was with Alex English and Magic Johnson ran our ass. And you can say, look, throughout every single one of those playoff matchups, the Denver Nuggets did not have the best player on the floor. Did not. Melo was not better than Kobe. Jokic and Jamal at the time were not better than LeBron and Anthony Davis. I can say without a matter of fact, the best player on the floor is going to be number 1-5. That's not even that's no slight to Anthony Davis, no slight to LeBron James, because I think LeBron's obviously all world. But having Jokic on this team is a difference maker, and he is so much better than 2-3 years ago than that bubble run too. So, like I said, going to the series, I can't state how much I hate this team enough. I really can't. Like there's not in division rivalries in football. There's not. Like in basketball as compared to like football. There's no I hate the T-Wolves, because I do hate the T-Wolves, but they really don't. They haven't done anything to me. They're just kind of annoying, basically. Same thing with the Thunder and the Jazz and company. But if you want to talk about rivalries, and it's not even a rivalry, because we haven't beat them, right? We always talk about this ain't a rivalry until you beat them, and we haven't. We basically still haven't. So like I said, all the pressure in the world is on us. People are picking us, weirdly enough. It's funny how tides have turned. But like I said, you're facing an organization you've never beaten in the playoffs. Never. In your 75-year history, or however long it is, your 75 years history, never touched them. And you're facing a top 2 player of all time on the other side. This is the obstacle that says, are you ready? Plain and simple. Are you ready? Because if you are, you will beat this team. And you will go on to bigger, better things.
All right, we try and be fair on this show, so we're going to go ahead and bring in our special guest. Before we bring him on here, he is brought to you by one of our great sponsors here at the Variety Sports Network, BetUS. If you want to put some money down, if you feel strongly, Nuggets or Lakers, use BetUS, the link down in the description below that you're able to find here, and it'll help out the Variety Sports Network, give you a little bit of extra money to gamble with. But we've gone far enough now. It's time. Lakers point of view. Terrell, Realism Sports. I talked football with you on Talking the Gridiron. I know you just went back and forth with Niko last week talking some basketball. I'm glad you're here, because now I don't have to act like I know what I'm talking about. I can kind of just let you two roll. But thank you for joining us. And if you want to tell our listeners a little bit about your show and where they can find you before we go ahead and break down this Western Conference Final Series.
My man Jimmy, now I remember we were on the show Talking the Gridiron.
Yep.
And I'm calling it right now. Your Bengals, because you're a Bengal fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are going to the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, Niko.
Right now, baby. Joe
I don't hate
it. He's recruiting me. I might be on his side after.
No. This
is the year. Burrow. He's going to get his brand new contract, and he's going to get a Super Bowl ring this year. Joe Burrow. Just for you, Jimmy.
I like it.
Niko? What's good,
Hold on. I knew this was coming. I told Jimmy, I was like, we have to have him on the show. Like, we have to, because we know what's going to happen. So we're going to have him on the show, or else I'm either going to be talking just shit about the Lakers constantly when I probably shouldn't be doing all this. But I know you could also talk your mess, so it'll work both ways.
Me, I would never talk trash.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, thank y'all for letting me on. I appreciate being on here. Quality show y'all have. Y'all are great. Y'all feed off each other. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't know as much basketball as Niko, you bring that energy. I love that, Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Relatives on Sports Talk on YouTube. You know, you can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We got other channels going on, but right now we talking about Relatives on Sports Talk and Niko with them Denver Nuggets. Hey, we talked about it. We talked about it, Niko. Here we go.
I know. I was holding my tongue because obviously it was going into Game 6, which going into Game 5, excuse me, when we last talked, and Game 6 obviously.
And you said y'all were going to lose.
This is true. I did say that, and eventually it didn't matter because I didn't realize how good my team was, but now I realize how good my team is. So there's a lot more confidence because look, there's one thing that that I talked about when I talked with you last week is that the confidence level is so damn low because we haven't won shit, never won against you, never been to the NBA Finals, never did anything. So I'm just waiting for something to go wrong so I could just cry myself to sleep at night like I do every single season at the end of it. So we'll see.
You already forced him into a drinking binge once when we've had this podcast. The Lakers, when they ended the bubble run, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, it'll be a long night in my house. The Nugget season is over. I got to mourn that properly. And yeah, at that point, it was when the Lakers the Nuggets and Avs got knocked out of the playoffs in 8 straight games. It was rough.
We lost. No, that was the season before. We lost 8 straight playoff games between the two teams in the span of a week and a half. So yeah, luckily last year broke the curse. This year we're getting back.
Yeah.
Hey, Avs have always been good for a while, dude.
We sucked. We had the worst record of all time.
Days with Patrick Waugh, y'all was right.
Certain eras, yeah. No, there's like certain stretches of dominance, but even still, like we've been talking about, it took 5 years after they won their first one to win the second. I'd rather not have to wait another 5 years, but we'll deal with it. I gotta throw this up.
Fan who might have the best record in the whole NHL and then losing the first round like 4 straight years in a row. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
this is true. This is true. Yeah. And I threw up your shout out on the screen there. I've been checking your show out. Big time storylines. That's kind of your thing. Let's get into some of these storylines. What are your storylines heading in from the opposite side to the Western Conference Finals? Let's talk a little bit about this matchup that we got here. What are your thoughts, Terrell?
Here's the deal. And I was brutally honest with Niko, and I really didn't think we were going to beat Golden State, honestly, because I was expecting Golden State to live up to the standard that they had. Obviously, injuries, wear and tear, whatever's going on in the locker room didn't allow that to happen. But going with Denver, Denver might be the hottest team out right now. The continuity between them is ridiculous. I've never seen a skilled player like the Joker. He jumps this high, but he can involve everybody else in the game. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of scary about what he's able to do without anybody stopping him. But he is 6'11", and he's 285. So as a Laker fan, I'm scared because people are already automatically saying Anthony Davis versus Joker. No, because if that happens, we have no chance at all. Anthony Davis will foul out every single game or he'll get hurt. One of the two. We can't do that. Anthony Davis cannot play defense on the Joker. First and foremost, please, Coach Ham, don't do that. Don't set yourself up for failure, because the Joker will put him in foul trouble in the first quarter. That's going to be the biggest situation for the Lakers is, especially with Mo being out game 1. We don't have a lot of bigs like that. You know what I'm saying? We got
throw Tristan Thompson out there.
We got old Tristan Thompson, and he was one of my X factors about I was going to bring up later, because he is 254. He is 6'9", but he's 254.
My man can't move worth a stick, though.
Well, Joker can't move either. We just need somebody to put some body on that dude. You know what I'm saying? So the Joker is going to be one of those things. But I think one of the hidden gems is going to be Michael Porter Jr. People forget how big Michael Porter Jr. is. He is big. And he would have been big known everywhere else if he didn't get injured in college multiple times. You know what I mean? This guy's coming to his own. He's got a little bit of money now. He is scary, especially being the frame that he is. In that position that he plays at 6'10", We can't match up any of that. Our next biggest guy is 6'9", going down without the athleticism of Michael Porter Jr. So he is a scary person for me as Michael Porter Jr. I think Anthony Davis needs to guard Gordon, and we got to do whatever we can to do against the Joker. But the biggest thing about the whole game really is we have to win the transition game. If it's a half-court game, we will lose quickly. It has to be transition game, and we have to have Schroeder play defense like he did on Curry, on Murray. And Murray's not 100%. So that's another thing that they need to worry about. Murray not being all the way 100%. Schroeder needs to play like that. And I think we've given credit to Denver so much about their depth, right? And the Lakers, when they started out 2-10 and going into the play-in tournament, we talked about the team. When Westbrook was gone, I think we might have more depth than Denver. What do you think, Niko?
I'm going to say no to that because
We're going to talk about that then.
Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. But to back what you were saying about the X factor, I will second down with what Terrell said, and that look, it's my X factor is the same thing that I went to the X factor with the Sun series. Who's going to be the third guy every night? Jamal Murray, unfortunately for you, is healthy. He had a little non-COVID illness related symptom, and there's one thing that people know that is not a myth anymore: is Bubble Murray is just Jamal Murray. Okay, plain and simple. So you know what you're going to get from those two every night. It's who is it going to be, right? AG dropped 25 points in game 1 versus Phoenix. Bruce Brown dropped another 24 in game 5 against Phoenix. And then you had KCP had big game 2, big game 6 to help lead to victories. Who's going to be that third guy every night? And that's where the big question mark still is for me. I love what Michael Porter Jr. has done in his playoffs. Everyone on this team has bought into their role. And from the starting five all the way down to the bench. And I think, in all honesty, the bench that he threw out versus Suns is going to have to be different for what you throw out against the Lakers, because it's going to be more guard heavy. It's going to be more, because it's not wing heavy like the Suns were. The Suns were very, very, very wing heavy. You obviously have the LeBron and AD, which we can match up defensively with our starters. But the bench guys, the Austin Reeves, the Jared Vanderbilts, the Malik Beasleys, a couple former
Nuggets guys. Can you match up with them offensively?
Defensively, absolutely. Bruce Brown.
Tell me how.
Bruce Brown locked up Kevin Durant. So
I'm not worried about. Does Bruce Brown start? No.
Defensively, Jamal Murray has taken big steps. KCP locked up Devin Booker for 14 points in Game 6. I think I'm okay with him. I think I trust him guarding Austin Reeves more than I have guarding Devin Booker, plain simple.
Okay.
Obviously, the biggest worry for me is still the Anthony Davis, because look, Aaron Gordon, one of the most efficient defensive players the last two series, holding Kevin Durant. Yes, Kevin Durant, one of the greatest all-time offensive scorers in basketball history, to 36% from the field when being guarded by him. So AG is going to have that matchup either of Anthony Davis or LeBron James. In my opinion, I think it's going to be LeBron, in my opinion, because I think that LeBron can abuse MPJ and can abuse KCP. I think you can throw Jokic or throw someone else at Anthony Davis, for that matter, and make him shoot jump shots. Plain and simple. Make him shoot jump shots. Because Anthony Davis, at his best, is with his back to the basket in the post. And you make him shoot those long threes that killed us, obviously, in Game 2 or whatever that was in the bubble series, and you make him do that, you're going to have a good chance to win the series.
I hope so.
It comes down to the LeBron factor is scary. I mean, I noticed it. I saw the Draymond saga and how he's kind of playing a different role. And it is kind of crazy. How are you forgetting about where LeBron James is on the floor, but you got to worry about so many other places? Have you noticed that too, Terrell, where he's kind of like picking and choosing his spots? He gets lost, and then all of a sudden he's by the basket getting a lob.
Well, I mean, the thing about LeBron James is, as a Kobe lover and a LeBron James
hater,
not so much of a lover.
He hates him.
Not because of his talent. It's because of, we've discussed this.
Terrell's on my side with that debate too. MJ's the best. MJ's the GOAT.
MJ's definitely the best.
Damn, Niko, he's getting points.
Hey,
Building up points now.
All I'm gonna say is Jimmy Terrell is literally the exact person I say when I say that the Los Angeles Lakers don't deserve LeBron James. Okay, plain and simple. So that's all I'm gonna keep going. I said that to him on the last show, but that's all I'm saying. They don't.
I mean, you're saying that because you're a Denver Nugget fan. You had like old ass Allen Iverson and Carmelo who only wants money. You're happy to have Joker right now, dude. Of course you're saying that.
He's the best player that's ever put on this uniform. I'm not lying.
What's that saying, though? What is that saying?
I know that's not saying much, okay?
Okay,
We all can't live in Los Angeles.
What is that saying,
where the weather is
I
95 degrees.
on my shit that I flushed down the toilet and it was pretty. I mean, what are you
There's
saying?
a lot of Hall of Famers that come from our team. David Thompson, top 10 all-time scoring.
Georgetown.
Alex English. One of the hottest selling jerseys of all time is that.
Where's Alex?
It's not great.
I was
doing
good with like the main guys in the series. Now we started talking old basketball. You lost me.
I know it's not great. I know it's not great. That's why all my chips are in this man, because I know this is the best chance this team organization has ever had.
Here's the thing, Niko. Here's the thing. The biggest thing about Denver, besides the Joker is what he is. He is what he is. But the second unit, you brought up Jeff Green. You brought up Christian Braun. You brought up Bruce Brown. That's your second unit. I would say Rui, Lonnie Walker, Malik Beasley, and Dennis Schroeder. We're right there with the depth of those guys. I mean, you're laughing. You're laughing. Hold on. Bruce Brown. You said Bruce Brown's locking up KD and all these things. I saw Dennis Schroeder lock down Steph Curry.
I don't know about lockdown. But
I don't know, because Steph Curry's won championships. Their team wins. You know what I mean? Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant is a punk. Crybaby punk. They're all punks over there in Phoenix. They ain't never won nothing. Kevin Durant ain't never won nothing without having a team around him. You know what I'm saying? So making them quit in Game 6, hey, we made the defending champions fold. We made the defending champions fold.
There's no lies about that. You're not selling a single lie outside the fact that I still don't think your bench is better than ours, because I still think there's a lot more pieces that we can throw at you. Like I said, when you first of all, we don't even have to talk about the bench. You talk about your starting five into your bench. The postseason, Pat Riley did this best. The postseason, 8 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys play every single night. If you play more than that, you're in trouble. Plain and simple. If you're playing 9 to 10 guys every night, you're in trouble. That means your starters aren't performing. That means everyone from that. You look at the 1 through 5 for the Denver Nuggets, or 1 through 8 for the Denver Nuggets, it's better. When I talk about depth, I'm not talking about just what Bruce, what Jeff, and what Christian Brown have brought to the team. It is what Aaron Gordon's brought to the team. It's what KCP has brought to the team. And you look at what your starting five has shown. Your depth is far better than the Phoenix Suns. It's not even close, okay? It's a night and day experience. But plain and simple, I have to disagree. Agree to disagree is I like our guys better.
But you gave me no facts.
Bruce Brown has held Kevin Durant. Okay, name one person in the history of basketball that has blocked Kevin Durant's jump shot.
Come on, dude.
Bruce Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what your
Christian Brown championship DNA.
Bring up some argument like that, dude. Come on,
Christian Brown championship DNA. Won a championship less than 12 months ago with Kansas. Jeff Green, veteran, 16 years old.
I know who Jeff Green is.
I know you love Jeff Green. 18 plus years of experience, however long it's been. Whatever.
You're not giving me facts, sir.
I'm giving you players.
I'm telling you what I've seen and what I'm seeing. Malik Beasley's out here playing ball. Schroeder is playing defense and controlling the narrative at the point guard spot. Lonnie Walker IV is coming out making big time plays. And Rui, every other game, he is coming to his own, doing different things. And that's not even counting our starters. You're talking about Austin Reeves and D'Lo. Austin Reeves and D'Lo need to be aggressive, and they need to play just like Wiggins and Poole did last year for their contracts. If they come out here and play like the money's on the line, you guys have no shot. Hold on. I said if they play like they're money on the line.
Shot. That's a hot
I said if these things fall into place. Denver's always gonna have a shot with
I'm going
Jokic.
to tell you right now, I will let Lonnie Walker drop 40 on my head. I don't care. Like, plain and simple. Because Anthony Davis and LeBron are what's going to run this team. Plain and simple, in my opinion.
I like
Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, and Malik Beasley, who I know more than anyone because he was a former Denver Nugget. Same with Jared Vanderbilt, both former Denver Nuggets in the start of career. Both those guys don't scare me at all. Their defense scares me. I think they're very good defenders.
That's all we need.
But they're not offensively. Is not going to do anything for you.
Listen, Nico, what did I say was the biggest thing about the whole series? The transition game. So the two guys you just said used to play for Denver play what? Defense. When we make defensive plays, we go out and run and score. Well, I don't want to play a half-court game with Jokic. Jokic out here make everybody fall fucking down, flipping the ball everywhere. Jokic is that gifted. But we're running up and down the court. Jokic can't handle that. That's the way we have to win the game. It's in playing defense, rebounding the ball, and transition. That's what we have to do.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. I like this. I like a little contention because I'm not normally able to give Nico this good of a run for his money, especially when it comes to basketball. Let's transition now to that X Factor talk, like we were saying. I think that let's start with a visiting team. Let's go Lakers first. Biggest X Factor. Nico, what'd you say? Offensively, defensively, and coaching, or just the options?
Let's just do offensively and defensively.
Okay, offensive and defensive X Factor for the Lakers. Terrell, who do you think makes the biggest impact that you wouldn't expect?
All right, the biggest offensive person that I think we have to have make plays is D'Lo. D'Lo's got to be aggressive. He's got to score points. Make KCP or whoever's guarding him play defense so we can get to that second unit at that point guard. I'm not scared of Christian Braun or whatever. I'm not scared of these guys. I'm not scared of none of them. We got to make KCP play defense. And if D'Lo's making his plays, D'Lo's kind of frenetic. He be dribbling all weird and doing all these kind of floaty type things. If he's aggressive, that opens up our offensive rebounding game. I think he has to be our X factor on offense. On defense, it's Schroeder. Schroeder has to play defense on Murray. You can't stop Murray. Murray's one of them dogs. I like Murray a lot. So you're not going to stop Murray. But you can say he's 100% healthy. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's 100%. I guess maybe nobody's 100% healthy this time of year. But I think that he's a little worse off than what you're trying to imply. And I think Schroeder's one of those little gnats. You know, you got to do a picnic and got gnats flying around, just annoying you all the time, annoying you. Maybe he got a blonde streak in his hair over here. That's annoying you. You know what I mean? That's what Schroeder does. I think those are my two guys, offense and defense for the Lakers.
All right, Nico, same question. X factors for the Nuggets, and then we'll get into your guys' keys for the opposite team winning the series. It'll be a little bit of a change up there.
So my X factors, I'm not necessarily going to go players there. I'm going to go schemes. Offensively, like I said, I think there needs to be a third guy every single night. I think that was your massive X factor. Who's going to be that third guy to step up offensively? I don't have any doubt in this defense. This is the number one net defensive rating team in the playoffs so far. So I have no problems with how this team's going to match up defensively. Who's going to be that third guy every night? Because it's going to have to be somebody, whether it be Mike, whether it be KCP, whether it be Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, whoever it may be. That there has to be a third guy every night, or you're going to run into problems like you did with Game 3 and 4 against Phoenix, where it was Jokic dropping 53 points and no one else really doing much else. So you have to have other guys step up because the Lakers, in my opinion, I'll get to how they should beat us in a minute. But there's a lot of different things the Lakers can throw at you that variables differently than what you face against Minnesota and what you face against Phoenix, in my opinion. Defensively, I weirdly enough, I'm going to go with along the same wavelengths of my X factors defensively for the Sun series, and that was hold Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to under 70 points a game. Combined, I'm going to take that a step further and say hold LeBron James and Anthony Davis under 60 points combined. You hold those under 60 points combined, then you're going to have to get 50-plus points from the rest of that group. And like I said, you have to test those other guys, in my opinion. You hold the big dogs under 60 points. It's going to be a long, or it's going to be a slow down game. 100%. And it's going to be very, very difficult for the Suns to try to get easier shots if those big guys aren't going. Because like I said, you're
Lakers.
not Lakers, sorry. And you're like I said with Kevin Durant, you're not going to stop them. You have to maintain them. Plain and simple. So you got to maintain LeBron offensively. You have to maintain Anthony Davis offensively, and let the rest of the guys beat you.
It's such a I know that it's not passive, but to me it seems passive because football. I coach wrestling, like I want to attack, but basketball is like with the load management, and nowadays with everybody scoring, you're just like, yeah, let's hopefully let these two guys get less than It used to be if you scored 60. Two guys combined for 60, they win the game no matter what. Now it's like, yeah, let them go off a little bit. Just appease them over here. We'll work it out over here. It seems very passive to me, but obviously that's the way that things are transitioning and have to go. Nico, let's go here. Tell me how the Lakers win this series.
Lakers win the series by a couple things. One, steal home court. You have to steal home court, plain and simple, because I don't think you beat us twice here. I really don't. I think it's very difficult to beat this team here twice. Obviously, undefeated in the playoffs. You have to win. If you win game one, you're in a great position. Obviously, winning one of those first two, you're in trouble. In my opinion, the Denver Nuggets are in trouble. Because the Lakers are a very, very good home team too. You have to win. You have to steal those road games. Because obviously, look. No one knows Laker fans better than I do coming to road games because I've been going to the games and they travel like no one. They travel like no one else. I think they're one of the best traveling teams across the four major sports, and I'll stand by that. So you got to be able to take those fans out of the building, games one, or you have to be able to take Denver's fans out of the building and make them feel that pressure. Make Denver feel that pressure of, yeah, we've been there. This team, I mean, look, there's only two guys from that 2020 championship team on this roster. But this team has the DNA to do it again. Like, you don't have that DNA over there. Like, Lakers need to show up, be like, yes, we aren't surprised by the big lights. We aren't fazed by the MVP over there on the other side. We have a top 2 player of all time. We have one of the best up and coming big men in the league. I don't even know if you want to call it up and coming anymore. And we have a hell of a supporting cast that's better than anything you face. Plain and simple. So that's my X factor, and because like I said, it's gonna be tough to come into the Mile High City at mile above sea level. It is plain and simple for anybody. Doesn't matter who it is. Sucking air, sucking wind is not an easy task for anybody. If the Denver Nuggets can play their style, then Lakers will be in trouble. But the Lakers play their style, take the fans out of it, including myself, who will be at games 1 and 2. Then you have your chance at going back to the NBA Finals for the first time in 3 years.
The Nuggets haven't chased a series yet this playoff, so I would say that's par for the course. That's been their recipes for success, getting out to a series lead and trying to hold that home court advantage as much as possible.
Because those butts clench. Excuse my French. Those butts clench when you see a team down 1-0. Doesn't matter, especially with a team like Denver Nuggets who are inexperienced. Same thing with the Suns. Like, you saw that 2-0 lead, they're like, oh crap, here it goes again. Same thing for like that championship today cannot be tested enough. And the Lakers come out firing, come out swinging, ready to roll. I mean, it's perfect.
Shout out Tyler for jumping in the chat. He thinks that AD has to match Joker. I don't know.
No,
you already said no, so you want to give him. He might have missed that part of the show since we went live a little bit early for him. Terrell, we want to just mention what you were talking about earlier too.
Well, as far as matching, maybe points or something. If you're doing something like that, points, rebounds, whatever, maybe Anthony Davis does not need to guard Djokovic at all. Unless it's like a switch or some kind of craziness. He cannot guard him. He's too thin. He will get in foul trouble, and that's going to mess up our whole offense.
And to just counter that point, do you throw Rui on him? Because I'm serious. I don't think Tristan Thompson sees the light of day. No. I really don't.
What I would like to have is, Tristan Thompson, I would want him on there a little bit. But I want other players to be aggressive in transition and let LeBron play him.
That's interesting. I have not heard that one yet. That is very interesting.
LeBron's 250. He's 6'9", 250.
Oh, he's a big boy. I know he's a big boy.
You know what I'm saying? He might be 250, but he's even stronger in strength. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, Terrell, give me the blueprint. How do the Nuggets break this curse and finally beat the Lakers in a Western Conference final, advance to that promised land that we want to get there to this point? How do the Nuggets do it?
The Nuggets should say, hey, we need to slow the game down, do what we do, play team ball, half court style. If they limit their turnovers, they'll be fine. If the Denver Nuggets do not exceed multiple turnovers, they'll be fine because that's the only way the Lakers can win, I think. I think it has to be turnovers and transition game. I think it has to be speeded up that way because the best player on the court, I agree, will be the Joker. I think he will be the best player on the court. So you have to look at his weaknesses. He's flat-footed a little bit, can't get all the way up and down as fast as everybody else. I think that's the only way we're going to be able to do it. If they don't turn the ball over, I mean, unless they miss every damn three-pointer, but if they don't turn the ball over, that's their biggest success story right there. Biggest success story. And don't get in foul trouble. Yeah. It's all about the whistle. It's all about the whistle. No turnovers, limit the fouls. Because the Lakers live at the line. We live at the line. That's why I said, as a Laker fan, we have to be aggressive to put them in foul trouble because of the length of their starting five. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Joker. Those are some long, big dudes. We get them in foul trouble, I'll easily substitute some of those other guys in to work them. That's the biggest
no one gets people in foul trouble like the Los Angeles Lakers and those stripes that help them get all those free throws. That 128 to 65 free throw differential. So don't you worry about that.
Be aggressive.
Don't you worry about that.
Be aggressive.
We are very aggressive, is all I'm saying.
Are y'all aggressive?
We are. This team is very aggressive. So we'll see. We'll see.
It sounds like you making excuses already.
I ain't making any excuses. I'm just telling you what's good.
Talk about the home court of Denver. No, we're undefeated on our home court in the playoffs too, son. We're undefeated. Yeah, look it up. We're undefeated. We won game one of the first round and second round.
40-9 home record this season. Best record in all NBA at home.
I'm talking about this playoff.
I know. I'm just saying in general. So both home teams are very, very good.
Game one is huge.
I'm not doubting that. And going back to what you're saying, even is that like going and saying with Jokic being the best player on the floor, this is the first time the Denver Nuggets have ever faced the Los Angeles Lakers with the best player on the floor. Plain simple.
But you don't have the top three players on the floor.
That can be argued. You have two of the top three players on the floor. Absolutely, I agree with that. But just for the first time, like I said, you could argue and say that two of the top three players during the Denver Nuggets 2009 run was Melo and Chauncey too. So like I said, but it wasn't the guy. Plain simple. So, like I said, I think this Nuggets team has everything that they want, that they want out of this team. That you have everything that the previous Denver Nuggets team that lost the Lakers year after year after year in the playoffs does not have.
Niko,
how am I making excuses?
Niko,
I don't make excuses. I'm just telling. Look, it's not an excuse when it's a statistic. Okay, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I'm just telling you what the calls have been throughout the whole regular season. Niko. 126 to 68. It was the number at one point. Okay, like that is video game numbers.
That's how you know I know him too well. I could get him going with just a click of the button.
I'm gonna be for real with you, Niko. Because you know I do not like LeBron James like that.
You hate him more than anyone.
I think that
you hate him as much as Tyler loves him.
And you love him too. Don't play. Both y'all love him. But here's my thing. I'll get to the point where I'm like, I hope y'all win just for you because you pull on straws. You pull on everything you can, trying to persuade yourself to say that this is the Denver Nuggets.
I don't need a persuasion.
I told you, Niko, when I was younger, y'all hurt my feelings. This is why I hate Denver.
Because you're a Seattle fan. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
give me with Tumble holding that ball.
I need to bring that poster just because my dad.
He's a Georgetown guy.
I know he's a Georgetown guy. I love the Georgetown boys.
I still can't stand him no more.
All right, we'll go ahead and get to wrapping things up. I think it's a good preview, and then obviously we'll be able to talk about post game one on our normal episode, and I'm sure Terrell, you'll be talking about it on your show as well. Since this is presented by our betting sponsor, BetUS, I know Niko can't necessarily make his picks, but we could talk about this kind of thing because this is important now. First line, opening line for game one as it stands now live. Denver is a 6-point favorite. The over-under is at 220. Yeah, I'm sure that that doesn't. The Lakers fans probably enjoy that because now they get a little bit more of a chip on their shoulder. But Terrell, what do you think about this? And do you agree with the 6 points? Do you agree with the 6 points? Do you think that it should be something different?
I mean, 6 points is about where I was going. I was going 4.5 to 5.5, so it's pretty close. I think that they're looking at Denver as you played the Minnesota Timberwolves, who was beating themselves in the fucking face, and then you played the Phoenix Suns, who have no bench with 2 players that all you got to do is guard. So just stop those 2 guys from scoring 50. Stop those 2 guys from scoring 50 points, and we'll win. Who else they got? Sham it. Who else they got on their team?
I know that they're bad.
We have a bench, son. We have a bench. There ain't no Shamits out here, dog. It ain't no Shamits out here. You can't just stop Anthony Davis and LeBron. We have some pieces there. But anyway, going back to you, Jimmy, 6 points. I'm good with that because the first 2 series, if you look at it, we were -4 and we were -8. So we're right there, and we won both of those game ones. So I'm good with that. The altitude is going to play a part. If Denver does not blow us out in the first quarter, worry about Denver.
Well, if you're a betting man, if you like one of the takes that you saw on this show, use the link down below, BetUS, and you'll get you'll help out the Variety Sports Network. You'll get a little bit of extra change to bet with. If you like that 6-point line, if you like the over/under set at 220, some of these games have been pretty low scoring. Some of them have blown things out of the water, but 220 is pretty common now for the NBA. Terrell, we thank you a bunch for coming on, bringing that extra perspective. Again, you can catch his show on YouTube. He's got a few different channels, but Realism Sports Talk. One more time, let people know where they can find you and everything like that.
Hey, we're on YouTube live, Realism Sports Talk. Got a couple more shows, but that's the main one. Hey, I appreciate you, Jimmy. Bengals, Super Bowl champions. Niko, love your banter, baby. I love going back and forth with you. This guy knows his stuff. I love going against people that know their stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
iron sharpens iron, baby. That's why I love people like that, yo. So, hey,
absolutely.
Good luck to your team. Good luck to your team. If y'all win, cool. LeBron's still stuck at 4, and Kobe's got 5. I'm good either way, baby. I'm good either way.
This is what I was telling you. We needed the Warriors to win so that LeBron would be stuck at 4 and then also get to, Curry get more than without KD, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot going on. I had a lot riding on that for me personally.
Jimmy is not. I'll tell you one thing. Jimmy is not rooting for the Lakers. I'll tell you that, or else I will disown him. Okay? Because although you may have given me luck, I'm not giving you any luck. Because we're cool. We're cool. I like you. We're cool. Man, I hate your team more than anyone. Okay? I hate your team every ounce of me. I don't ever touch. If I see a purple and a gold T-shirt, I don't even fucking look in its direction. Okay? I don't care if it says Jokic is the GOAT. I'm not buying that shit in those colors. Okay? I don't wear those 2 colors around here. They don't even those colors don't run in this state. Okay?
That's okay. We can go to the hotels in Denver because I know many girls in there love that purple and gold color.
Oh boy. Oh,
just ask John Morant about his times in Denver. Maybe see what else can happen.
Oh my
God. You want to come play? Having boys can play around in Denver because obviously good things happen for us and bad things happen to you. So just take John Morant's advice, Los Angeles. Knock yourself out.
Wow, it's crazy.
I don't think they're coming out here for that kind of entertainment. They got all they need at home. Be sure to follow at FEOTB Pod if you enjoyed our show and you're checking in from Realism Sports Talk. Be sure to subscribe. We'll have our regular episode dropping Thursday. We'll talk about Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, wrap up everything else that's going on with the playoffs, and maybe even touch on a little bit of NFL news if there's anything to talk about with all of that stuff. But be sure to subscribe. Check us out on Thursday. Check Terrell out on his show. Thank you, everybody.
Storylines, baby. Go check
it out. Can we get it all together? Can I get all y'all to do it together?
Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Big time storyline.
I love you guys. You guys are the shit. I love you guys, yo.
We'll see everybody later on this week. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.